For nearly 3 decades, a mystery has haunted America. A 6-year-old child, a beauty pageant, a murder that captivated the world and spawned countless theories, accusations, and rabbit holes of speculation. I am talking about JonBenet Ramsey, and in 2024, a breakthrough emerged that could finally solve one of America's most famous cold cases. It was Christmas morning, 1996, in Boulder, Colorado. John and Patsy Ramsey woke in their home to find a ransom note. Not a call, not a visitor. A ransom note, 3 pages long, written on paper from their own home. By an intruder, they claimed. What followed was chaos. Police called. Investigators arrived. And somewhere in that chaos, a young girl named JonBenet Ramsey vanished. She was found hours later in the basement. Dead. Her body showed signs of strangulation. Her skull bore blunt force trauma. She had been 6 years old, a beauty pageant contestant. A child with her whole life ahead of her, now reduced to a crime scene, to evidence, to a mystery that America would obsess over for decades. For years, the narrative focused on the family. Was it the father? Was it the mother? Was it a family affair? The media frenzy created a circus. Accusations flew. The family hired lawyers. The case fractured. Some believed in family guilt, others believed in an intruder. And all the while, JonBenet remained dead, unsolved, a question mark in America's collective memory. But the evidence, the physical evidence, told a different story. DNA was found. Male DNA. Unknown male DNA under the fingernails of a 6-year-old girl, on her body, in her underwear, on the garrote used to strangle her. This DNA did not belong to anyone in the family. This DNA belonged to an unknown man, an intruder, a stranger. For decades, that DNA sat in evidence lockers, untested, incomplete. The technology wasn't advanced enough. The science wasn't refined enough. Investigators couldn't do what needed to be done. But science advances. Technology improves. And in 2024, decades later, new testing was completed on that DNA. The results were remarkable. Using advanced forensic techniques, scientists could now separate mixed DNA profiles that had been impossible to distinguish before. They could now see what had been hidden in plain sight for nearly 30 years. The DNA profile became clearer, more distinct, more usable. Genetic genealogy emerged as a breakthrough technique. Take a DNA profile, run it through genealogical databases, find relatives, map family trees, close in on the person. It had already solved dozens of cold cases. The Golden State Killer, dozens of others. Could it solve JonBenet Ramsey? Father John Ramsey, JonBenet's father, spoke publicly about the progress. He said there was better than a 50% chance that genetic genealogy could identify the killer, that the technology that had remained elusive for 28 years might finally bring answers, that a family's decades-long nightmare might finally end. But more remarkable than the DNA progress was the elimination. 24 individuals. 24 people who had been considered persons of interest. 24 people who might have been suspects. All eliminated through DNA testing. The suspect pool that had once seemed infinite began to shrink. The intruder theory gained credibility. The outsider narrative strengthened. A Netflix documentary arrived in November 2024. Millions watched. The case was reinvigorated. The nation remembered. New leads emerged. New tips came in. New hope arose that maybe, finally, after nearly 3 decades, JonBenet's killer might be identified. John Ramsey announced he would meet with Boulder police in January 2025. A meeting that could be pivotal. A conversation that could yield the breakthrough the case has awaited for so long. For the Ramsey family, for America, for everyone who has wondered about this small girl and her tragic death. This is a moment of possibility. The technology that didn't exist in 1996 now exists. The science that seemed impossible is now possible. The mystery that seemed unsolvable might finally yield answers. JonBenet Ramsey deserves justice. Her family deserves answers. And America, which has watched this case unfold through decades of theories and accusations, deserves to know what happened on Christmas Eve, 1996. That knowledge might finally be arriving.